This person got this car, so I gotta go get this car. This person has this house, so I gotta go get this. Or for me to feel that I'm on her level, I have to go buy these shoes or these red bottoms, this purse, type of thing.
What's going on, people? This is Shaw Harris, and a little bit backstory before I get into what this video is about. So a couple days ago, I was actually having a conversation with a female friend who's also an entrepreneur, and I was telling her that she might be missing out on certain opportunities because she has to make sure that her hair looks right. She has to make sure that she has a flash outfit, her nails done, all that good stuff. So I was telling her that she might miss out on opportunities because a lot of guys don't really have to deal with that. You're competing with guys who can pretty much just put on a t-shirt, not even comb their hair, and get out the house. So that piqued my interest. I was like, the thoughts of what are some things that women have to deal with that guys just don't have to deal with when it comes to business. So I put out a bat signal and I said, hey, I'm looking to have a conversation with women about, what it's like to be a female entrepreneur. What are some of the trials and tribulations that you got to go through? And somebody answered the call. So in this video, I'm actually speaking with entrepreneur, but she's also a real estate agent as well as the owner of her own mental health company, Lashaunda K. And we speak about all those things. Plus, we speak about what women deal with on social media and just the scrutiny that comes with being on social media, as well as pretty much things that you have to deal with when you are the poppin' friend or the friend that makes all the money. So we get into all that. So check it out right here. What's going on, people? This is Shy Harris of the Rebel Society, and today, actually, I'm gonna take it back. So a couple days ago, I had a friend who, me and her was having a conversation about really just certain things that are different from men to women when it comes to owning your business, being an entrepreneur, perception-wise, look-wise, all that stuff that she said that men just don't have to go through. So that kind of sparked the conversation with my wife, as well as just in my head. I was just thinking, love, what are some of the things that men and women have to go through, or what are the situations that women have to go through when it comes to owning your own business, and just really being out here as an entrepreneur. So I put out on social media that, hey, I would love to have this conversation with a female entrepreneur just about all the stuff they go through. And then I had a couple people tag this young lady beside me that's saying that this is the person that I need to speak to when it comes to this. So now I'm sitting next to Lashaunda K. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. So before we get into the conversation, I guess, what is it that you do?
Well, currently we offer sponsored residential services for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we also provide residential group home services, and we provide mental health skill building services for adults with serious mental illness.
Okay, and you have your own company, right?
Yes, and the agency is Reese Family Services, and we have been in business for over 5 years.
Okay. All right, and then you also said that you do real estate as well, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So before we get into the main conversation, how did you actually get started with everything?
Well, let's see, back in 2007, I was working as a case manager for the city of Hampton and Newport News. And then I started working part-time with a lady who had a similar business that I have now. And I was helping her with the agency. And I remember my brother telling me, Shonda, this is something you can do. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't have the money. I just can't do this. And he was like, yes, you can. If this lady can do it, you can do it. So I went to the lady, told her I wanted to start a business similar to this. She told me she didn't want to hear about it. She told me she didn't want to hear about it, which really motivated me. It kind of discouraged me because I'm like, this is someone who I admired, someone who I looked up to, but she told me she didn't want to hear about it.
So she said that like she didn't want to help out, or?
She didn't want to hear about it. She states because I was such a good employee for her, she kind of wanted to keep me under her wing. As an employee,
gotcha.
Yeah. So I didn't receive any help from her at all. So I just branched out on my own, meeting people, working hard, working overtime, saving up money. My youngest brother actually helped me bring money to the table to get things going. So we paid for policies and we went forward.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And you say you've been doing it for 5 years?
Yeah, and that happened in 2014. Yep.
Okay. So I guess we just go ahead and hop into the conversation. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's harder for a woman to be an entrepreneur or a business owner as opposed to a man?
I don't think so. I think it just depends on the woman's dedication and determination. That's like one of my quotes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dedicated to whatever your mission is and you're committed, I think that you could do it. You know, I don't think it'll be hard. I think sometimes women can face like biases, you know, when it comes to being in the business, especially if it's a type of business that men do.
Okay.
But in the human services field,
I feel like that's
it's filled with women.
Yeah,
it's filled with women.
Okay. All right. So
but men do get paid more, you know. If
really?
a man goes for a job, he'll get paid more, you know, even in this field. He can get a management position, you know, even in this field, you know, I believe quicker than a woman because they don't have, you know, as many men. So it's still, you know, when they see a man walk in the door with more experience, it symbolizes more authority.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So have you ever felt any like bias towards yourself as a female entrepreneur?
Not really with men. Actually, the person who helped me get started with the business, and that was more open to helping me was a man.
Really?
Which, surprisingly, yes, was a man. You know, I shared with him when I was working that this is something I wanted to do, and he was like, you know, these are my contacts, whatever you need, contact this person for training, whatever you need, I'll help you with. And he helped me, you know, and, you know, if to this day, if I need any help with anything, any feedback, you know, he'll give it to me.
Okay. So, I know a lot of people say that, with that same person that I was talking to before, she was saying that, you know, it's usually women that, you know, would judge you based on, you know, how you look or how you present yourself, so on and so forth. And it's usually things that they point out as things that men don't really pay attention to. Do you find that to be kind of accurate, or?
Yeah, I think women are very judgmental.
Really?
I think it's hard in the workplace.
Why do you feel that is, though? Like,
I think it's a competition thing. What this person have, what this person doesn't have, what you think they have that they may not have. I think social media plays a big part in that, of what a woman thinks she should look like, or what she thinks she should wear, what she should have. You know, all the different labels and, you know, materialistic things. Women can be very materialistic.
Okay. I was just thinking, like, do guys deal with that same thing? Like, I see a guy on Instagram with six pack. I'm like, I could do some crunches or something, but
I think so.
But I don't really feel like that affects me, like when it comes to like me meeting with people or business wise or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think you find like I have a really good friend. I've met a couple of good friends and females who are just, you know, they're caring, they're helping, like we actually motivate and encourage each other. But you don't find that all the time. Sometimes it becomes a competition thing. Well, if you do the same business as me, I'm not going to help you because you may make more money than me, or you may take some of my individuals, or you may take some of my services, and then, you know, then it becomes a competition thing rather than thinking like it's enough out here for everyone to eat, you know. So everybody doesn't have that mentality. They want to see you do good, but not better than them. And I've got to the point that I'm like, I've helped plenty of people, you know, start businesses. If you want to come to me, ask me advice, help me start business, I'll help you.
Right.
You know? I'm not saying it's going to be free,
but
you know, I'll help you, you know.
Okay.
And I work with you. I answer questions all the time, all day long.
So do you feel like the competition part of it, do you feel like that's a black thing? Because I was actually just talking to a friend probably last week about the same thing, where it feels like, I don't know if it's kind of like been ingrained in us that, you know, only certain, you know, people within our culture can actually rise to the top. So it feels like when there's somebody that's at the top, they kind of want to hold on to their position as long as they can, so they don't want to kind of bring somebody else up. But the people who are, what I'm seeing is a lot of people who are at the top, they're saying like, hey, you know, come on, or, you know, I'm gonna help you get to where I'm at, or so on and so forth. So do you feel like that's kind of like a black thing, or that's just kind of, you know,
I think it's seen more in the Black African American culture, you know, that we don't want to see other people rise to the top, or that we, instead of bringing somebody with us, we'll let them stay down here, or we'll bring them with us, but only to a certain level. We won't necessarily say, well, you know what, you have this skill or this craft, so why don't you take this and use this to start your own business? You know, that type of thing.
Why do you feel that is, though? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know why it's that way. Like, I think, you know, the competition with the culture. I think social media is just like, I really think
I feel like it was like that, but I feel like it was like that before, though.
Before social media, I think it's worse now due to social media. I I think it's worse now because now you get to see what everybody else has that are
people living their photoshopped life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody always put like their highlight reel of all the great things. Not too many people pointing out like, hey, I messed up on this or I did this. Or
even like when a woman takes a picture, and I do it too. So you post your best picture. You don't post the messed up picture. You post your best picture up there. You post what you want everyone to see.
Right.
You don't post the things that you don't want people to see. So it's like a made up life. So when people look at your social media, your Instagram and Facebook, they think, oh, this person lives this perfect life, but that's all they see is what you post.
Okay. So I feel like I definitely get where you're coming from with that. I feel like social media, it does paint a picture that everybody has to be this Photoshop, this filtered person, which leads to a lot of people, I guess, being fake or living a lie for the most part. Do you feel like you've ever had to like do that? Like, do you like when you open up your like Instagram or you getting ready to post? Do you think of like what are people going to do or what people are perception of this photo is going to be, or do you really even think about stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. A lot of the times before I post a picture, of course, because I'm married, have children, so sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this is inappropriate, if my husband would like it.
Right.
And then sometimes just, when God blesses you with different things in life, because you work hard to get there, and you work hard for them, sometimes, you're excited, you're happy, you want to share with the world, like, what God has done for you, due to your hard work, you know, and I've definitely questioned, like, I shouldn't post a picture of my house, or I shouldn't.
But why shouldn't you, though?
Because just worried about what people are going to think. And a lot of people say, I don't care what people think, but I don't think that's true. I think everybody cares to some extent what someone thinks. Maybe not people that you don't know, but it could be your mom, your dad, it could be your wife, it could be your children. Like, you do care how you're perceived. I do. So, at that time, I don't want to seem as if I'm bragging. I want to always be humble, so that's when I question if I should post this or if I shouldn't post this, especially things that, material things. Okay.
Because I've, especially in the past 6 months or since the beginning of the year, I really started to kind of mold my mindset like, fuck what these people think. Like, I'm going to just kind of be as real and transparent and whoever, like, rocks with it, like, those are my people. But the people that don't agree with it or people that don't, that just don't agree with it, I don't really care what they think. But I guess that you are right where there's certain people that you really want to seek their approval. Like, you're going to want to seek, like, your parents' approval or your spouse approval. But I feel like everybody else just
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be. And I've gotten to that point now. So I've, like, if I want to post my car, if I want to post my house, if I want to post whatever, I'm doing it now. But again, it feels like that sometimes, especially when you start to get it, because you feel like, other people are going to think you're bragging,
right.
When really you're not bragging, you're just showing people, if you work hard, that you can acquire these same things,
right.
And this is what happened, especially the people that knew you when you first started your agency or
right.
when you first started your company, and even you, to see how many things you're doing now is like amazing. So it's like, that's the hard part about it. But then, like you said, you do have to say, forget what everybody else thinks. I'm going to just do me and live my life for me,
Gotcha. So, since you have been in business for, past couple of years, and, you said, it seems like you're very successful at what you're doing. Do you feel like people kind of treat you different?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I do feel like people treat me different. When I go certain places, of course, if you go to the bank, they know you in the bank now. You get special treatment in the bank now when they see you.
They're like, I checked out your balance.
But even sometimes, like family, like you go certain places, people start to expect, that you're supposed to pay for things, or that because you have money, you're supposed to do this, or you're supposed to go to these places, you're supposed to spend this money, you're supposed to have this car, you're supposed to buy this bag, those type of things. It's treatment like that, Or, if someone's in need, you get a lot of more phone calls, You get a lot of more phone calls, when you're more successful, you have
like your cousin's going through it,
Yeah. Can you make a donation?
Yeah.
I get that, which, of course, I'm a kind-hearted person and I love to give back. I help all the time, and it doesn't need to be said exactly what I do and who I help and how I help them. That's just part of, I think like my tithe and offering, my offering, I would say. I like to help, but I don't, like to be taken advantage of, and I know when I'm being taken advantage of. So you do get taken advantage of because people will constantly come. And if you say, I don't have it,
yeah.
they know you lying,
right.
Because you do, but you don't have it for them,
Before we wrap this up, what is like the future for you as well as like your companies? Like what do you see like yourself?
So with Reese Family Services right now, our newest service is the mental health skill building. So adding that, maybe some outpatient services in the future. As far as the real estate side, I love real estate. I'm working on my broker classes now, so I plan to do a lot with that. My agency already have the name. It's going to be Legacy Real Estate. So finishing that up this year. So next year, 2020, you should definitely see some things from there. As far as me and my husband agency is Second Chance Investments. We plan to keep flipping homes. We're looking forward to building soon, so that's what's coming from that. But I don't know what God has in his plans. I always get surprised every year, something different, but I just want to continue to grow. I want to continue to inspire others, inspire my children, and that's why the name Legacy Real Estate, because I really take pride and want to leave a legacy for my kids and build and really continue to empower women and make an impact on each person I come in contact with.
I definitely appreciate you just coming, allow me to come in here with you and just have this random conversation.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. So, like once again, like I said, this is something new I'm kind of doing on, my YouTube channel as far as just having these raw and very uncensored conversations about, what us as, young creatives, young entrepreneurs, and as us as Black professionals have to deal with. So, like I said, once again, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
That's it. We out.